I will request our IP attorney, Mr. Biswajit Sarkar, who is an expert in this. He will give his portion of deliberation that will enlighten us how we should know, how we should apply, when we should apply, in what circumstances we apply, what are the things which are covered under IP. So he is the best man for this purpose.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I would like to make my speech very precise because all of you are really ready for the lunch. And it's a very, very tough session when you speak before the lunch because everybody's, the biological need is more different, important other than intellectual the need. However, so intellectual property is really, really, really important for startups as well as the business entrepreneurs. What we have seen, this is a kind of a joke, like we say this, like all I asked was, can I patent my copyright? This kind of thing. Anyway, go to the next slides, please, very quickly. These are different kinds of intellectual property which are very prominent in India, like copyright, industrial designs, trademarks, etc., etc. Go to the next slide. So the significance of IP for the startup is the most important thing for the startups, that whenever they do the business, they always try to develop something which is unknown so that they can create a market demand. So the first of all, whenever you create something which is unknown or which is new or novel, then definitely it attracts the one aspects of intellectual property that's called patent. That will come to the next slides also. But here is that the IP assets develop the retain the clientele. Means like the moment you create the intellectual property rights, it will give you the repetitive business, which is the focus for any kind of business. So go to the next slides very quickly. So now these slides very precisely giving you the idea, rather the thumbnail impression, like if you do the business with the IP, what are the advantage? Like creating the monopoly in a business, standing the business identity, then helps community in the business, like you are helping your customers to identify your product without having any kind of confusion in the market. Like builds loyalty and goodwill. That is the most important thing in a business. Without that, no business can grow. Then stops others from duplication. That is also another vital part of your business growth. Now next slide, please. So business without IP, you just have a look. That's no monopoly, no brand value, no legal protection, no business networking, no legal remedy for the damages. So you'll be nowhere in a business without any kind of the intellectual property protection. Here I am just giving the idea, like intellectual property, whenever you create something, that intellectual property begins from that point. And it goes by the curve like applications. The moment you create something, you always think, like you buy a piece of land. I'm giving you one example. Then immediately what you think, that you have to create a boundary. For what? Because you have to stop the ingress and egress of the people, those who are coming to that particular area. So similarly, whenever you are creating the intellectual property rights, then you have to immediately think for your protection of intellectual property rights. Now, the protection is coming, identifying what are the protections you need, because what are the assets you have first. Like one asset in a business is your movable, immovable assets, which is your land, your like other kind of buildings or the infrastructure. These are all immobile properties. Then movable properties is like your vehicles or the properties which can move from place to place. But another kind of a property is, we call it in the law, it is called intangible, because you cannot see, but you can create. Like it is a creation of human intellect. So similarly, because whenever you create something, because you think something which is coming out of your brain, then it can go to that your innovation, like a kind of the creativity which can be protected by patents, Then whenever you do the business, like every human being here, those who are present here also, everybody is carrying a name. Without that name, there is no existence. And there will be the confusion among the public at large. So similarly, whenever you do the business, if you don't have the prominent, the brand identity or the trademark, what we call in the sense of law, it is really a misnomer in a business. Then third point is your copyright, because whenever you create something like your literature or your website or whatever the kind of the graphical representation of your product, and everything is protected by the copyright. Then design is there. Then design is that whenever you create something like the water bottle, means like your mineral water bottles, it has a shape, and that can be protected and which can identify, distinguish your product from the rest of the other competing products. So go to the next slides, please. Now you just see, I'm just very quickly showing you, like once you create the intellectual property rights within the territory of your country, which can give you the path or the way to go to the another country. Like I'm giving the idea because I'm in the legal profession. I started my career in a national territory. Now today what we are doing, when I am giving the lectures in the many universities, like I am getting the matter from another country because I have done the work for this Indian gentleman. He is very, very successful in USA. So he has an American attorney, but we proved that we can do the better work rather than the American attorney. So he has given the work for India, as well as immediately he has given the work to protect his trademark in Iran, the kind of duplication. You see the American work we are getting in India, then we are, because that is a kind of this, we call this the proliferation of the service industry. It is a very, very the vibrant nowadays. The service industry is really growing, rather than this product-oriented industry that we figure out. Then go to the next slide, please. Now, patent is, of course, whenever you do any kind of the scientific invention, whether it is related to the process of the product, it can be protected by patent. Patent is a kind of the right of monopoly given by the government, assured by the government for a certain period of time, like for 20 years. It is prevalent in everywhere in the world. But in exchange of that, that particular technology is coming to the public domain after the expiration of the patent period. So what is happening? The government is ensuring the right of monopoly. The right of monopoly is also protected by the court of law. Because if somebody is violating your patent, then ultimately you have to go to the court of law, not as the IP office. IP office is only the granting authority, but they do not have any kind of power or the right to stop such kind of infringement, whereby the court is only the controlling body to give the verdict. Now, go to the next slide, please. So whenever you do the patents, so then one thing is that you have to think it should be non-obvious, that we say as a patent attorney. The second thing is that your novelty, that is also very, very important. Is whenever we talk about the patent, we always ask the scientist, and nowadays we are getting a lot of patent application for related to the artificial intelligence and other things. But only the one issue is that is a big challenge for the patent attorney, because if you do something related to the software, and if it doesn't have any connectivity with the hardware, it is not within the ambit of this patent protection, according to the Indian patent definition, protection. So this is the another thing is that is very, very important for the patent is that it should have the commercial viability, because if it is not commercially viable, like somebody came to us and he tried to develop the beer, he means like he's a very good biotechnologist, and he developed the beer from the potato. In one district of the West Bengal, there is Arambagh. There is a lot of potato cultivation. But he came, but the cost of the potato, when there is a beer, which was shooting up to more than 700 rupees at the lab cost. So it is not commercially viable. So although he tried to get the patent, but still the patent was not that much successful in the commercial market. Because you create something, because of there are many inventors are coming to us. They create the patents, especially for these academic institutions. But the ultimate future of the patent is that to get this a commercial benefit. Otherwise, the patent is remains the picture frame on your wall. So however, coming to the next slide please. So the trademark, it is a very, very important aspect of the business. Like whenever you take any name, you select any name for the business. So it is very, very important because generally people say the brand name, but we call it, as a lawyers, we always call it a trademark. So this is a kind of a distinctiveness that we try to explain. This never choose a name because basically the people try to take the name because which can help them to identify their service or goods. But as a IP attorney, and we always suggest the people never choose a name which is highlighting the character of the goods or the services because it is a bad for the protection. Even if you get the protection within the territory of India because the laws are not that stringent here, because we have got so many registrations of the trademark in India, but the moment we step into the USA, those registered trademark, Indian registered trademark has been refused by the US IP office. And the lack of is a distinctiveness. So descriptive, these are the common features of those things. Go to the next slide, please. This is the wordmark, this is the next slide, please. This is the kind of trademark one can choose. This is a modern trend nowadays. I mean, even the color is a trademark also very important. Go to the next slide, please. The color is there, the purple is a thing. There are many colors. Now this is a smell trademark is also in the pipeline because India is still far behind for all those kind of the protection because we do not have that kind of the infrastructure. Because we have to educate the court and the judges also to pass the order to identify those kind of things are there. Next slide. So this is a sound mark. Yeah, the value of a trademark in business, I'm explaining you, a marketing tool. Because without a trademark, you cannot market your product. Your product is stagnant at your manufacturing point, or it is not touching your customers. That is the biggest advantage of your getting a trademark, which has a distinctive character to distinguish your goods from the rest of the competing other goods. So a valuable business assets source for revenue through definitely licensing. You can do the licensing. Like I'm giving an example like McDonald's or the KFC. We are handling their cases also because they have some problem in Bangladesh. We are moving to the Bangladesh Supreme Court also get the order. Like I'm giving an example like KFC. That is a letter mark. So the origin is that Kentucky Fried Chicken and that particular person, because basically whenever you take the 3 letters, it is a very generic trademark. None can claim the exclusive right upon it. Now what is the distinctiveness, what we got from the USA, like that particular man, because that uncle, because I forgot his name. So that particular thing is that where they are identifying feature, the distinctiveness. Now what happened that another gentleman in Bangladesh, he has taken a similar trademark. Of course, KFC touched the Bangladesh. Before that, he was very smart enough. So he took the KFC, he filed a trademark in Bangladesh. He derived that particular thing. This is a Khulna fried chicken. So there is a place called Khulna, and he has taken the photograph of a gentleman of a particular religion who is carrying the beard. So he is saying this, okay, the KFC doesn't have that kind of right, the distinctiveness, all those things. The suit is going on before the Supreme Court, and that is the burning their fingers from the KFC. That's such a big company in the world. So that is another aspects of it for the trademark. Go to the next page. So whenever you selecting trademark, that should say avoid generic term, because even a KFC they did a mistake also, because that gentleman was not guided by that proper IP lawyer, and later on he tried to induct all those features and so that they can establish the distinctiveness. These are all history for this, all the top brand names of the world, those who earned billions and trillions. So descriptive term you always try to avoid, otherwise that will be a very big problem in future to grow your business. Like what to remember selecting a trademark, create inherently distinctive trademark. That always we say, like the Kodak, it doesn't have any significance, like the Google. So these are a trademark which is very unique in nature. It can touch any part of the world. Even we have the new concept in a trademark that we call this a well-known trademark. Like even if you don't have the registration of the trademark in India, but if you have that kind of a reputation, we call the cross-border reputation, that same trademark can be protected in our country. So that is a fantastic the concept we brought in a new trademark act. This is called the well-known trademark. Go to the next slide, please. The protection refers to obtaining the legal right by the way of creation. So trademark protection is that first you create, then you register. Of course you register your trademark. Without registration, definitely you will have some kind of issues. Then you use it, because once you use a trademark, then it has a legal base. There are many trademarks which is there according to trademark law. I know there's many people in India, they're trying to do this because it's a trademark smuggling. So that is another kind of a business. They are earning, the dollars. What they do, they try to, even China is doing the similar kind of thing I have noticed very recently. So they go to the trademark data site and they grab some kind of the trademark which is not being used for the last 5 years. So according to our Indian law, if the trademark is not being used for the 5 years, so nobody can claim any right on it. So similarly, I grab that same trademark, I file the application, and it says non-user ground, your trademark is bad, and I am coming forward. So it is really, eye-opening for us. Go to the next slide, please. Industrial design, that is also another very, very important area, because whenever we buy the phone or we buy the watch or we buy any car, we never bother for this, what kind of the machines are there, or the engines are there, or what kind of the horsepower or torque, and nobody talks about that. So first of all is that how does the car look like? Whether it is attractive, it is a very sporty, it is aerodynamic, all those things. So those aspects are protected by that industrial design. So whenever you create something or you deal with a product which has the appeal for the human eye, which can attract the people, the buying customers, then definitely you protect that particular design or the look or the appearance. That is called the industrial design is there. So what next? Copyright is a very simple, everybody knows that, because Mr. Madhu has written a book. I am sure he has protected his book by the copyright, because I have done it for the many writers also. So without the copyright, there's a book cannot grow or proliferate. So in future, maybe Mr. Madhu will be waiting for the huge amount of royalty. So because many publishers will come forward to invest the money, as he is a very good investor. So anyway, so that is a kind of a copyright. One should, if you create something, your literature or everything, you can protect it by the copyright. And copyright is perpetual, means like the person who is alive till his lifetime, even after the death of that person, the author, that it is protected by the copyright. It is a huge thing. So keep your mind that whenever you do your business, like whatever is happening in India, we always think we'll think the law later on, but it is too late for you, because we are handling that kind of cases now. It is we call the legal repairing center. Like others lawyers have done the damages, and now you have to repair it. The moment you come to repair your legal loopholes or this legal hollowness, it is very difficult, because you have to pay a huge price for that, because maybe the litigation, maybe the huge compensation, maybe the injunction, your business is stopped. We have done it for many companies also. They are now really biting their fingers. So this is a very, very important thing. If you start a business, take the proper IP guidance from a good lawyer, because those are really well aware of these various aspects of the intellectual property right. Go to the next slide, please. So you just remember one thing: the moment you protect your trademark or any kind of intellectual property in India, immediately you think for the global business, global protection. Because if you have that kind of vision that you want to cross the territory of your own country, then immediately you have to protect your name or the intellectual property in other countries also. So that's the thing. Even we are facing the same thing. Like what is the name of our law firm? The China, somebody has registered the law firm in our name, and he's saying, okay, you want to take the licensing from us, you can take it from us. So the same thing happened because I'll show you the one slide here because one of our client we handle because a very big computer industry in India. So they are facing this problem in China now. Please go to this is the Foxin. That is a very big company in India. They brought the Lenovo in India. Rather, they brought the pen drive, everything introduced in India by this company, the Foxin. So Balaji Computers they call. And their brand is very, very famous, Foxin, around the world. Now, they are facing the problem because China, one gentleman who was their supplier, rather the kind of the parts, he has already registered his trademark in China. Until today, the Foxin is really moving like a pendulum in China. So this is another example because whenever you think for your business and to grow globally, immediately you protect it before it becomes too late. Go to the next page. This is our color trademark. It's just we have protected this color, the pattern of the shari. Go to the next slide, please. That is the address of a trademark. That is another creation. These are the two trademarks which are world famous. Even a Harvard student they study it, and how to protect even a address as a trademark also. Go to next slide. Thank you very much, and I hope that I have covered the important aspects of the intellectual property protection. And if you have any question, we are very happy to guide you and also to give you the suggestion how to protect it. And there, if there is any question, I am here to answer you also.